Simon Adams is the Executive Director of the Global Center for the Responsibility to Protect. And he joins me now from New York. It's good to have you here speaking to us. That UN report is the strongest issued yet on the Rohingya. There's some very shocking findings. But how effective really will it be in bringing Myanmar to task, or the government of Myanmar to task, over what they've done?
Well, I think it is, as you said, a very shocking report, and I think it now puts a huge onus of responsibility on the UN Security Council and all the members of that Security Council to actually turn words into deeds, because 1 year since those atrocities happened, 1 year since what this report describes as genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes, we have still not seen the UN Security Council do anything except issue one tersely worded statement about it. So I think there's a huge onus of responsibility on them now to actually do something, because something your report did mention was that earlier today Facebook actually shut down a number of pages of Myanmar generals because of incitement to hatred and because of their complicity in the genocide. But so far Facebook has done more than the UN Security Council to actually hold perpetrators of these atrocities accountable, and that's just not good enough.
Simon, I was there when the initial influx in Bangladesh, I was covering this when the initial influx in September of last year. And even then we were hearing all these stories from them and they were all being corroborated. Why do you think it's taken this long for the UN to take any action or to even investigate it with this, with the seriousness that it requires?
Yeah, there's no question that people have known for a very long time. My own organization, along with Human Rights Watch and our friends at Fortify Rights, did a briefing for the Security Council within 2 weeks of these atrocities taking place. There's plenty of information from plenty of organizations, including the great reporting that's been done by Al Jazeera and by other organizations. So information has never been the problem. Action has been the problem. But I think this UN report helps us get a little bit closer, because ultimately what we need is not just words. What we need is to see people like General Min Aung Hlaing, the Commander-in-Chief of Myanmar's armed forces, actually in handcuffs and held accountable for these crimes against humanity that they have perpetrated against the Rohingya.
I'm skeptical that the Myanmar authorities, the Myanmar military, will cooperate in any way. So what should be the next step? What would you say the UN should be doing?
Well, they have also had an ally in the fact that China has been very reluctant to see any action. And of course, as you mentioned, the Myanmar authorities have not been forthcoming. I think somebody like Aung San Suu Kyi, who is of course a great icon of human rights and who many people around the world protested in favor of having her released from house arrest, and many Rohingya, it should be said, protested in her favor as well, has now become the genocide denier-in-chief for the Myanmar military. As I said, that military has had a good ally in terms of China protecting it, but I think this puts enormous pressure on China. This puts enormous pressure on the entire international community. And it's not just the UN Security Council. States can apply bilateral sanctions. They can apply targeted sanctions on the generals involved. They can help place an arms embargo on Myanmar. And they can help try and make sure that the Security Council refers the situation to the International Criminal Court.
Let's hope that some of that action is taken very soon. Thank you so much. Simon Adams from the Global Center for the Responsibility to Protect. Thank you.
Thank you.